Myself, got Kyle, got Kylian, and
Hello.
we've got Jonah. We are going to be having a special guest on later on. Obviously, just us four are going to cover over, next week's games, the results that happened this week as well. Whether there's any surprising results that we kind of guessed and kind of got wrong or whatever like that. So we're going to start with, we'll start with the game week 1 results. Is there any surprising results for you that's happened this week?
I think
last game.
Yeah, the last game was so thrilling. But I think the Vision X game, it's not a surprise that they won, but it's a surprise of how well they won and how dominant they were.
Yeah, I think that's a very good one.
I think that's probably the biggest surprise. Apart from that, I think all other games were, close in what I expected. Very close, tight affairs.
Yep.
So what about you, Jonah?
Just give me a sec. Give me a sec. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, just following on from
I got one.
Go on.
I'm surprised about the Velocity Juice one. I thought Juice were taking it, to be fair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I expected that to be a close game anyway.
Yeah, that I did, but I thought the other team was gonna win.
Yeah, I think the one that stands out is the Vision X Atlantis, just because it's a 3-0 clean sweep. Like you say, Kyle, you expected Vision to win, but not as easily as what they made it look. Atlantis showed the quality there. They're not, not much, pushover as a team, but they just couldn't get it together in the final third. They just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net, and that's what counts in this game is getting the ball in the back of the net, because that's how that's how you win. Unfortunately, in this, but it didn't come together for them. Vision X put a very good display on. GCI turned up as well. A player that we pointed out at the start of this is if he can turn up, it'll make the team a lot stronger. And he played fairly well. He didn't put a foot wrong and did good for the team. So Kylian, moving on to you, what do you reckon with game week 1? Obviously, you didn't really see much of the games.
No, not really, but from what I've heard of, and the little parts that I've seen, just as season 1, there were very close matches. Everyone is pretty the same rank, so they're just close matches and very enjoyable to watch. And I think we will be seeing that throughout the whole series.
Yeah, I think this is something that we pointed out. This season, everybody seems a lot closer than what season 1 did. You had a couple of teams in season 1 that pulled away from the league. You could tell out the standout teams. But I don't think there's many in this, this season where you look at a team and think, yeah, they're going to storm the league, they're going to win every game. They will be top of the table. I think everyone's given them their first opportunity in game week 1 to show what everybody is about, and everybody's a strong team, even whether you won or you lost. Everyone put a good account for themselves this week. So, moving on for game week 2, we've got some very good fixtures out there as well. So we'll start off, with the top team, with Euphoria and Resurrection. Obviously, Kyle, you played for Team Euphoria. Is it something that you're looking forward to, or?
Yeah, I think it's probably the team that I'd want the most to play after what happened on tonight's game week. It's not a really tough team, but also not a really easy team. It's a team that is going to cause us problems, and if I think we're good even without Haz. You know, I think if Jazz has to play more games than he's expecting this season, you know, I think we'll still do well. You know, I think we've showed that tonight, where we put in a pretty good performance, even though we were a bit, you know, downhearted and had a bit of the wind taken out of ourselves. But yeah, I think it'll be a good tight game. I'm reckoning a 3-1 or 3-2 win for ourselves.
Yeah. So, Kylian, what did you think with Team Euphoria and Resurrection? What are your predictions and why?
I mean, I've seen Euphoria play like today. I know how Chess plays. I mean, it's probably gonna be Hez, right? Playing them.
Yep.
I've never seen him playing, but I've seen play you, Kyle. And I think it's gonna be a good match for you guys. I think you guys will take it. I'm gonna predict the 3-1. But yeah, I'm not really sure how the match will go, since I've not really seen that much yet from all the players, from all the new players and the new teams.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna let it come towards me.
Was that 3-1 Euphoria, right?
Yeah.
Jonah?
I'm gonna predict 3-0 for Euphoria. They're gonna win. Kaya. Yes.
I mean, you've gone.
Is gonna do it.
Yeah, I was going to say you've gone for the bold take of a 3-0. You know, what sways it for that 3-0? Well, why have you decided the 3-0? And then, you know, Resurrection not to take a game.
I don't know who is playing of them, Christian or Sharky is not playing, right? Christian is.
Yeah, I think it's Christian. I think.
I mean, like, we played them, and I think we scrimped Kyle's team a lot, so I think they're gonna win just 3-0.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's a hard one, you know. Obviously, watching the way that Resurrection played last week, and obviously the little fallout after that game. You know, they've obviously sorted it all out between themselves. But some agree with the rotational side, you know, putting the substitute players into official games. So, you know, it's depending on what team turns up for Resurrection, because, you know, there's certain players in that team that are stronger than others, just based on, you know, they've been in the rank longer than certain people. You know, and mentality wise, I don't think it's very strong at Resurrection right now. So for me, I'm going with what Jonah's gone for as well. I'm going for a 3-0 win Euphoria. Just based on mentality. The mentality after that game, when they played ourselves clinical, it just, you know, it plummeted. Like they
broke.
Yeah, they took it hard. You know, and they had a little fallout between themselves. You know, a little bit of inside information for everyone with that. But yeah, I reckon a 3-0 Euphoria. So I'm backing you this time, though, Kyle. I'm backing you on this one.
You were way wrong for tonight's game.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't play, so we don't know.
but the paperwork shows that we won. Well, it is 5FF, but
Just fucking taking it.
It's not because your team is not good, but it's like,
yeah,
I think that team has real potential, but I think it's not gonna happen if this happens again.
Yeah, it's just touching back on that game. It was disappointed. You know, we were given the option of whether we would allow them to get players if they couldn't, and you know, us as a team talked it through for a good 5-10 minutes, and really, I didn't. You know, my thought process to it was, I just didn't trust that the players, like, I'm not saying that they would do it, but the way that Tornado came into
I get what you're going
into BGCS was he came in as a champ, and I rated him highly and I didn't think he was a champ, and it turned out he wasn't a champ, and they ended up on a team of 3 GCs. I just didn't want that to happen again. And that's, given it such short notice, gave every opportunity to allow,
That to happen
players
again.
for that to happen again. And, I just didn't want that to happen because, one, I didn't want it to be unfair on us, and two, I didn't want it to be unfair on the rest of the league.
Yeah.
Because
Allow it for one, you got to allow it for the rest, right?
yeah.
See, this is the reason I kind of, decided myself of not wanting that is because, we allow one team, we got to allow it every week, and it's not something that we want as a series. It's hard to put stuff together anyway. We're trying to put stuff together behind the scenes with website and the whole thing within the Discord, and obviously people keep changing around all the time and last minute things. It makes it difficult to keep on top of everything, and then everything just doesn't fit everything else along the weeks. But yeah, we're moving on to Fearless 5 and Atlantis now. Anyway, Fearless 5 are, I think they're doing a full rebuild. Apart from, I think they're keeping Tornado and Rex. Obviously, Rex is a GC as well, so the GC sub, and obviously Tornado, the main player, as a GC. But I think they're replacing all players. Obviously, they've already got one spot available within their team, so that's just a free change. It's a freebie anyway for them. But obviously, I believe they're making the 2 changes this week. So obviously, that's it for for them.
Which is good to see, because that going back, it was kind of, I felt unacceptable because the game got changed. So that they could play it that day, and then they don't show up. And I was pissed because I don't particularly want to play a Saturday. Yeah. Because I work till 4, I'm up early in the morning, and I'm shattered and tired. So, but obviously I'm going to play, but I'm not. I wasn't happy that it was changed, and then for that to happen, so I just hope that they can get some good, reliable players in.
So, going on prediction, we're going to come to you, Kylian, first. What do you predict between Atlantis and Fearless 5?
It depends on Fearless 5 the most, because it just depends on what the 2 new players will be.
Yep.
But I think it will be a decent team because Turbo is pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's
obviously they do have as well. They do have everyone remembers Sharky. Well, all the community will know Sharky, German Sharky. He is coach for that team. So just adding into that before everyone makes their prediction.
Yeah, that's why it's still going to be a decent team, even though the 2 players that will join are going to be a bit less than the actual players. But I think Fearless 5 will take it with a 3-2, so it's going to be a tough match. But I have some trust in Sharky and Turbo.
Okay, Jonah, what are you going for?
It's hard because I want to give it to Fearless 5 because one more time, but are they gonna, the players themselves, the new ones, are they gonna show? I'm just gonna give it to them. 3-2, same as Kylian.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, because yeah, but it's gonna be a hard one because they need to get in the feeling of playing.
Yeah,
that's the first already, and I mean it's a whole new team. Team Atlantis. They saw him maybe once. I don't know if Tornado was watching or Sharky. So a 3-2 for them. Yeah.
Kyle.
Me, yeah, it's a bit of a shot in the dark because it's still an unknown team versus, an unknown team.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1 Atlantis.
Okay.
I liked what I seen, even though that they did get, beat by Vision X badly. I still think they showed some real good talent, and I think they're only going to get better as each game week goes on. So yeah, I think it'll be 3-1 to Atlantis. I just think they're a real strong team, which makes Vision X's performance even better.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that one. And I'm going to agree with you as the prediction-wise as well. I'm going to go with Team Atlantis. I'm going to go, so it's 50-50 for commentator's side. Two for Atlantis, 2 for, Fearless 5. But I'm going with a 3-2. So I'm going to go with a closer game, just because, we don't know the players that are coming in for Fearless 5. Atlantis, I have made 1 changes themselves as well. We don't know anything about that player. Like, we don't know anything about really the whole team. But what we kind of watched, Kyle, of that game with Vision. They showed some real quality. And they, like I say, it was a 3-0 clean sweep. But most of the time you kind of have to take away and look at the performance of what where they went wrong and what they did. And they didn't do much wrong apart from not putting the ball in the back of the net. They got to the final third and just couldn't get it in, and it's unfortunate, but it's the way that the game works of who can score the most goals, who can defend their goal the most, and it came on top of it. It was Vision X, but I reckon Atlantis could probably sneak this one in and get their first victory of a 3-2. But I am looking forward to Fearless 5 though. I'm looking forward to the rebuild to see what players come through.
That'll be exciting.
Definitely.
It's a shame to lose, Furious, especially. I liked him. He was a good player, and it's a shame to lose him out of the league for this season. And I just hope he can stick about. And learn from this. And
yeah. I mean, I think they're going to be disappointed to the fact of they didn't get the bye week this week as well. Obviously the bye week was available for whoever team got it, but I think they'll be disappointed because they don't get the chance to play and train with each other before the next official game. And I think that's what a lot of the Fearless 5 boys would have wanted.
Yeah, the bye week would have been really handy for them. But that is the luck of the draw.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind that maybe Turtle knows some other people, like maybe some friends that play rugby, and if they are they played a lot with Turtle, then it's easier for them to come back in the game.
And if I was Fearless 5,
No.
if I was Fearless 5, I should get a champ shop as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, they've got the free spot available. Like I spoke about earlier, if you've got a free spot, you can use that spot. At the end of the day, it's not a fully registered team, so you have got the opportunity to take that free spot. But then, they've got also the 2 changes of taking Furious and Jack out if they really feel fit to, or they could just move one of them in. Like we said about Furious, they could just move Furious into the sub spot and bring in 2 main champs that are going to be around all the time. And I think that's what they need to do. If they're not wanting to drop either one, I think they drop one and find 2 main. But moving on to the top of the league, Vision X versus Team Lotus.
Joint top of the league, I think you will find.
Yeah, joint top. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 3-1 to Vision X. I still think that Lotus have still got a lot to prove. They played very well against G-Force, but I also think Vision X are a slight bit further quality to G-Force. No offense to G-Force, but Dwarf, but there looked a good player. If GCI can contain his performance of what he did in that game, then I think they've got a very good side on them, and I do think that they'll take it a 3-1 win against Team Lotus. But it's another thing as well. Like Eclipse obviously after that game said that he didn't have a good game at Team Lotus. He didn't feel the game. He didn't feel like he showed what he was all about. And maybe if he turns up, maybe if he shows the quality that he can, actually does possess, then maybe we do see a different result. But for me, going on everything, will be a 3-1.
Wow.
Coming to you, Jonah. You can go first this time.
I'm gonna go 3-0.
3-0?
Yeah.
Oh,
For Vision X, of course.
Okay, what's your reason behind
that's not a reason, John.
it?
I think they played good. I didn't saw all the games, but like a 3-0, that's just a good start. I mean, the next match they're gonna be more hype because they got a good start, got a good beginning, so they're gonna show everything. I think they gotta get a lot of pressure on Team Lotus. Yeah.
Kyle?
Me, I'm going same as Jonah. I'm going to go 3-0 to Vision X.
Okay.
I rate this team very high. After seeing them the past game and in scrims prior, and also that's if they get a good 3-0 win here, that's them got both the new teams sort of out the way first 2 game weeks. That's a big advantage to them as well. They now just sort of know the other teams that they've got to play after this one. And also, I didn't really rate Lotus. I didn't think they looked good at all against G-Force. I didn't think they showed much of anything, so they're going to need to work on a lot to turn that round and get anything out of that game.
Kylian?
I'm gonna say 3-1 for Vision X because I've actually seen a few matches from them, and they're just a good team, a steady team. And I'm not gonna say 3-0 because it just highly depends on if GCI can hold his his momentum, his stuff up, what he showed in the first matches. And if he won't, then it's just gonna be a bit tougher, I think, to defeat Lotus. That's why I'm just gonna give it a 3-1.
Obviously, touching up on that as well is, the reasoning for 3-1 for my side as well is, they've gone in and won that 3-0 against, you've got to think that Atlas and Team Lotus are, a merged community with them lot. So, these guys are going to be going in thinking, these are the, part of the same community where you can just easily 3-0 that, and I think that's the mentality side of things. So maybe just slip that up, and that's where they'll drop the game.
Possibly, but just to answer, if I can answer GCI's question, why it's about him, is because you're the key player in that team, in my opinion.
Yeah, same. I think the same.
We know what you're going to get off Dwarf, but he's going to just play consistent good Rocket League. Whereas in you, on the other hand, you can play good, solid GC level Rocket League one game, and in the next game you can play like a plat.
Yeah.
And when you play like that, that puts off the other champ in your team, and it snowballs and makes the whole team play bad. So that's why you're the key person.
Yeah, that's exactly nail on the head. Is you go from one end of the scale to the other. Like, there's no in between for you. So even if you have a bad day, there's not the in between of, you might just slightly drop. You drop fully to the bottom. You either, like I say, you're either right at the bottom or you're right at the top. And if you play like you did in game week 1, you guys will, you will do well. And obviously what we've seen of Brian as well. I mean, some of the shots on that player is unbelievable.
A very good pickup for Visual X. Very solid, really good.
Yeah.
But this is my question to GCI. Where did you find him? Because me and Kyle obviously spoke about it before this, and we don't know where you've got him from and where he's come about. So I'm interested of where this player's arisen from. But while you look at that, is moving on to the next game is G3 is the team that had the bye week, and Velocity. Obviously Trident, I believe, will come back into that side coming into game week 2. So coming to you first, Kylian. G. G3 and Velocity.
Velocity is still the same. Group,
Obviously,
right?
So it'll be Stealth, Trident, and Toxo.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say 3-2 for Velocity. Just because I know how they can play. I know how Trident can play. And the key part for them is just try to get Trident, learn the rotations, and let them wait a bit more on the plays, because sometimes Trident just rush too hard in the games, and that can give them some goals against them. And I think if Trident just gets a little bit better in the rotations, that the team is just gonna blow off to another level.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like they're gonna play with Trident now this match, and before they played with Jaxi, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if Stelin and Toxo, I'm not accusing anything, but if they maybe lose, what is gonna happen with the team? Are they gonna think about dropping Trident?
I mean, it's a fair point. I mean, it's a very fair point. It's something that I touched upon after that game. Is are they gonna look at more the fact of play styles of who performs better, and or is it down to Trident choosing the team? He's gonna put himself in the squad every time. Or is it down to Jericho, who's the coach? Is it down to him to decide, yeah, you've played well this week, you're going to keep your spot, and you'll have to sit out and prove in scrims and out of BGCS official games of why you should be coming into this team. But we don't know on that one of who chooses the team really. But I think it's a very fair point. It's a very fair point that you bring up.
And I'm not saying that Trident is bad or something, but if it's happened, maybe they think about it. That can happen.
So what was your prediction, Kylian? What score did you go with?
I said 3-2 for Velocity.
2-2 Velocity. So obviously on what you've just said there, then Jonah, what's your prediction on the game?
Did they scrim that team or did they not?
No. I know nothing about this G3 esports team.
Yeah, the only player I know in that is Dexter. Is the champ, and he's a good champ.
Okay, we've scrimmed. I think I'm going for the 3-2 to G3.
3-2 G3?
Yeah.
Okay. Kyle?
They're an unknown, but I do think Velocity are a different team when Trident plays. I think they're a lot stronger team. No offense to Jaxi, he's just not at the same level as Toxo and Trident, in my opinion. I think that I'm going to say 3-1 to Velocity. But I also wouldn't be surprised if G3 beat them,
Yeah, that's the thing.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I have nothing off this team to go on. So I'm not going to back them blindly. I know how Trident and his team play when they're all together, and they're very strong. So that's why I'm going for Velocity.
So for me, I'm gonna also go for Velocity. I normally give a Trident a lot of stick and always go against Trident, but this time round I'm backing you this time. You know, I'm backing Team Velocity to win this. You know, I did it with Atlantis of back the unknown team, and look at where that got me. You know, they got absolutely mauled. Yeah, they got absolutely mauled by Vision X. So this time, you know, I think, you know, yourself, Trident, you add that little bit of quality. You know, you add the bit of unpredicted play at times. You and Stealth didn't have the plays. And I think if you can link up with Toxo as well and bring that into a team, you know, a team play, then I think you are going to be very strong. I'm going to go with Kyle's prediction of a 3-1, solely because I do feel like you'll end up dropping a game, because you'll end up either being too confident after you've won the first and the second game, or you'll, you know, because you've only just come in this game week, you'll drop the first game, and then obviously you'll find the confidence to play well with each other. But I do go 3-1 Velocity. So
I'm
yeah,
the only one with the bold pick.
Yeah, you've gone out bold and went with G3. And I mean, to be fair, you know, you never know. You might pay off. We don't know anything about them. They had the bye week. You know, they had the extra time. Whether they used that, I'm not sure. Of playing together, you know, who knows? It's something that we don't know about this team, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Like, because Trident said in chat that they scrimmed them once, so
Yeah.
they know a little bit of them. I hope they did something about it, and I hope they, you know, that's why I picked the 3-2, because I think like Velocity is just a good team. I mean, Toxo played good in the first BGCS series.
Yep.
I was very happy about that, actually. I was like, oh, nice.
I enjoyed the way that Toxo played.
Yeah,
Toxo was one of my favourite players. You know, I said it straight after the game as well, and during the game, that he was one of my favourite players.
Yeah, I mean that dunk on the two people and went in their net, I was like, oh, this man is playing insane. I was like, that's so smart, you know. So, I loved him as well, how he played.
Yeah, big shout out to Toxo this week.
Yeah.
I think he is the sole reason that that Velocity beat Juice this series, in my opinion.
Yep. Three.
Kylian, look in chat.
Yeah, that's why I said, what the? What the fuck is going on now?
Kylian with a ponytail, what?
Oh man's on some hard drugs or something.
Kylian is not a ginger.
You good?
Right, so moving on to the final game of this whole chat is G-Force and Clinical. You know, there's three of the Clinical boys in here, me, Jonah, and Kylian as players.
Not going to be biased protections at all.
And then obviously Kyle is co-founder of this team as well, so it's pretty much a clinical side in here. But you know, predictions are a whole different level. You know, you've got to take it as a neutral point. It is what I'm going to say on that one. Is you've got to look at it as a neutral point. You've got to take into respect of G-Force. They had a very good game in game week 1. Yeah, they only they scraped through a 3-2 win. But Flair and Shizney are playing on another level, and Gonzalo that they picked up as that champ spot is a very good pickup for themselves.
Take me as last, because I'm gonna look back the. I was at work.
I'm gonna go with a 3-2 Clinical. I want to go a 3-1. But I feel like I don't want to be too harsh on G-Force. So I'm gonna give them the extra game and say 3-2. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game as long as Flair and Shizney turn up. So Kyle, coming to you.
To me, well, I am actually going to go for a surprise. I'm going to go for 3-2 to G-Force.
Yeah.
I'm going to back Flair. I think, I have a lot of respect for Flair. He's a very good player, and they put on a good showing against an unknown team. That team, didn't perform at their best, and they just squeaked through the game. They got the win 3-2. But yeah, I'm gonna. So it's not a four-way sweep for Clinical. I'm gonna go 3-2 to GeForce, because I was saying that in the chat before to Flair. I was saying you've got what it takes. You can beat them. You just got to have a bit more confidence in yourself.
Yep.
And I think when Flair finds that confidence, I think that they can pull off a surprise here and catch Clinical with their pants down.
Kylian, what are you going for?
I'm going 3-2 for Clinical.
Okay.
I mean, of course, I have to back Clinical. I mean, even though I'm just on the bench, I love my bench. It's a nice, cozy bench.
Yeah, you and Cheeky are not getting on the bench.
What?
Cheeky, you've got another bench, Claire.
No.
Do you know his
My
name?
bench? No, he has his own bench. This is my bench.
They don't share a
Hold up.
bench.
No, they have separate benches.
Yes.
Oh.
No, but
Interesting.
I think they're gonna make it hard for, probably you guys to play. But I think at the end, you guys will take the win with a 3-2.
Nice. And then Jonah, you wanted last spot.
Yeah, I'm still watching it back, to be fair, but like, I'm thinking. I want to do. 3-1 for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Based on, do you score based on anything, or you just reckon?
For us, it's just we were the first game of the BGCS, and just so we got that over with. We won it.
Yep.
And now we're just, we're confident. We're gonna play our best game, and I'm not saying that GeForce, to be fair, is a really good team. I have Flair as player. I have him really high. I love him, how he plays. So that's why I'm saying 3-1. Otherwise, I went 3-0.
Okay. I know Kyle's the only one to back GeForce in that, but I mean, me and Kylian have gone for the close game 3-2 as well. We haven't gone a full sweep. And then Jonah coming out bold and going with a strong 3-1.
I wanted to go for the ball play 3-0, but I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I gotta take one game.
I mean, who knows? Anything can happen in these games as long as the players turn up, and players need to turn up.
To be fair, I'm not even gonna be surprised if they maybe make it even harder for us. And what Kyle said, 3-2 for them, it wouldn't be weird because they are a very good team.
Yep. And then obviously, last but not least, obviously there isn't another game, but there's Juice. Obviously, get the bye week. Do you think that's coming at the right point for them?
Bye week is gonna win. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Do you think it's come at the right point? Because obviously they played a difficult game. They played a very solid game. For me, that's game of the week is the Velocity Juice game.
Yeah.
Just of what we watched, what we saw, and what all the players produced.
Definitely agreed.
Obviously you could go for the easy option of the 3-0 of being the game week, but I don't know. I just didn't find that as fun as the 5-game thriller between these two teams. And obviously Juice will be very disappointed that they didn't win that.
Yeah, because they were like, okay, we have a good chance of winning it. So.
That's because it's 2.0,
Just saying.
They definitely that would have hurt them, that loss, because it was within their grasp, the win, and kind of they let go of it, and it was a good chance for them to beat a very strong team that was weakened with the Trident not playing, and it was a missed opportunity. So I think the bye week definitely
It's a good one.
is going to help them, let them just reset their mentals and give them that extra time to recover and move on.
So
Yeah, if I was them, like, just try to talk about it, just like talk it out, get it out of there.
Watch some
And-
replays.
Yeah, and then just, you know, put some sand over it, and then, you know, yeah, and then just go next and then forget it. Like, because I spoke to Taku like that night. I mean, to be fair, Taku was just okay, but he was not happy about his teammates.
Yep.
So that's
Taku's
all I'm
never
gonna say.
happy with his teammates.
No, but it was not in like, he said like in game 4, I think he said like, yeah, they were quiet when they scored a goal, and I was trying to get them back in the comms, and Aaron was, but his other teammate wasn't. And Aaron was already going like negative in the BGCS match, so that's
Yeah, but that's something that you can work on. I mean, you can
Yeah, but-
work on hyping each other up, and you can work on trying to not get quiet in the matches.
yeah, but that's why I think it's good for them they get a bye.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
we can talk
It's
about.
definitely gonna do them good. Just have some extra time to train, extra time to watch replays and focus on themselves.
this is something that we pointed out with this team is the mental side of the team of can they actually keep it together when when they start losing? Can they get it together when they've conceded a goal? And what you've pointed out there, Jonah, is they are struggling with that already in game week 1. So yeah, so totally agreed. Is the bye week for these guys now will be a good turning point for them to get scrims set up, learn on how to hype each other up, learn how to forget about a mistake that's happened and just come on with the game. And then after the game, that's where you speak about your mistakes, you speak about what happened within the game, talk about what went wrong, and not within the game. You do it within a game. Your mentality drops. It drops not only for yourself, but then it drops onto the snowballing effect. It drops onto the rest of the team, and then the demoralization then comes in of why are we even playing? We're not fighting for this. So what's the point?
It's just a giant snowball effect.
You wanna fight me, Kylian? It's saying,
Bro,
yeah,
go.
Jonah, fuck off! Bro, go! Fuck off!
There we go.
Literally last time we were playing twos. It was all pretty good, We're just talking, being happy, happily ever married couple.
Right. Anyway, it's a good job I muted you all then, wasn't it? Yeah, just for the output. I can't edit that on YouTube. So yeah. Right. Anyway, on that note, we are gonna move on and bring in the special guest of the evening. I'm not sure if he's even.
He was hanging about in voice 1 at one point.
He's still there.
There it is.
I can't move him up enough. Gonna have to go to each VC as we go up. Channel's too big. I still can't get him up enough.
Let me grab him. Come, Trident. Come up. Come on, boy.
Fine. Right. So,
Hello,
Mr. Trident. Welcome to the podcast.
It's Fish Boy.
Is that fish boy? Is that fish boy?
Yeah.
Fish.
Oh,
Trident.
You thought it was
that
someone
explains
else.
a lot. No, it just explains a lot.
Oh.
How are you?
How's everyone doing? I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Cool.
So obviously you missed the first game week. You know, it only felt right that you come into this week of the first podcast as a special guest. Not only because obviously you missed the first game week, but you've been a long time supporter of the channel in general. You know, you've been here for a long time yourself, and me and Kyle spoke about who we wanted on to onto the podcast, and it only felt like the first option was the person that has been here the longest, and that is yourself.
Well, thanks for having me on.
No worries. So my first question to you is, what do you reckon to your team after obviously after the game? You didn't feature, but do you think they put in a good performance for you?
The game, it was a close game. 3-2, game 5. But we did play well. I must give him that. Jaxie played well, considering it was his debut for BGCS. Dominated midfield, played really good overall. Hopefully we can just keep it up in next couple of games and stuff and just bring that on to the later season. But I think we played well.
Yeah, I think taking into that is Toxo. Toxo played very well, had some very good just plays all the way around the field, to be fair, and I think that's what held it together. Obviously, everyone kind of points out Stealthlin to hold the team, but I think Stealthlin can put himself in that limelight of holding the team together alongside him like that day. But yeah, I mean, you're going to be fired with a lot of questions throughout now the next half an hour-ish, so
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, what were you going to say, Kyle? Because I kind of cut you off then.
No, I was just agreeing. With you that Toxo, yeah, he was in my opinion, the standout performer. If we were ever going to bring back the player of the week, which I think we should start doing.
Yeah, it's something that I'm going to do on the here.
With this podcast, I'd definitely say Toxo was that player.
Yeah, I agree.
He got velocity of the win last night, and yeah, he should hold his head up high and be happy with the way he performed.
Yeah. And then also the coaching from Jericho, which also helped the team out a lot as well. Definitely.
How did the scrim go after Trident?
Oh, everyone was buzzing.
Oh yeah, but you also
Yeah.
beat, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that was mad.
you were pissed off.
We were just thought we'd do it for the fun,
Yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah.
Good fun
Some good
banter.
matches.
Yeah, you can see me just like go AFK sometimes and just like fly up into the air.
Yeah, every time when you went AFK, when I was not playing, I joined your team until you start fucking driving.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
It was funny how you ended your stream. You're like, I can't be ass anymore. I don't want.
Wait, was I
I don't wanna
streaming?
do that.
Wait, was I streaming?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you started
Oh, you were
streaming. You got 2 games in.
Yeah, I was gonna say you started streaming, you didn't finish it, but it's. I mean, you didn't do it in.
okay.
Oh, as long as it's not in the official games when you do that, I don't really mind.
Yeah.
I have a question for Trident here.
Aye.
Outside of velocity, because obviously no bias, who is your favourite team that you, from especially watching Game Week 1, who you enjoyed watching and who you think will do well?
Good question.
The team doesn't exist.
That's a tough question, you know. But I would say Vision X on this one. Since I know a lot of the players, I'm mates with most of them. And they're a very good team, and I just want them to do well in the series, and I think they'll do well. Yeah, Vision X.
I like it how you say. 2 seconds.
I want to know.
I like it how you say that you're good friends with them. When all of last season you argued with them, or with one of the players. Is that beef being squashed?
Yeah, 100%.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no more beef.
You're not
Only beef
lying.
jerky.
I'm sure.
Only steak now. Come on.
Gotta love
But
them steaks.
I
That's
have
still
a
beef.
question. Were you in the like the call when they were playing, or
No.
the BGCS you were just watching?
CBA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, in which game? The Velocity game?
Yeah, the velocity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was in their VC there. Keeping up the mentality, everything like that, stuff like that. Just,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
I mean, I'm going to touch up on that because I thought you were going to go with a different question on that one. What were the comms and comms within that game? Were the full comms? Were anyone muted? Was it obviously you've been in certain teams along the way of getting into BGCS season 2. You've been in teams, you've trialed players, and comms haven't always been the strong point within teams. How do you think comms were between them? Obviously, them three.
Oh, I think that the comms were really good. But there was just one Jaxie at the start. He was like almost kind of shy, wasn't coming, and he almost got like annoyed when he made a mistake. But later on, like game 4 and 5, he fixed that and he started coming a lot, and his mentality just shot right up when he started winning them games and stuff like that.
Good.
Yeah, it's good to hear. It was a big occasion for him, as you said. It was his first, game within BGCS, playing on stream in front of a good amount of people. So yeah, it was. I can understand him being shy, and it showed.
Yeah.
That's, game 4 and 5, I believe he's won, because weren't you 2? I'm sure you were 2-1 down.
Yeah.
And that definitely showed. That he adjusted and adapted well.
Yeah.
Kylian, have you got any questions to fire at Mr. Trident?
Well, what do you think about your next matches? I mean, you're probably gonna play again. So how do you think the matches will go out?
I am predicting for this match that we win 3-1. We haven't seen much of G3. They haven't scrimmed a lot or anything. So this is mainly just a guess. We've scrimmed them once before, but that's like the only thing that we know about them. So I'm just putting a random guess out here: 3-1 or 3-2 to Velocity.
All right.
If we play well, and stuff.
Not gonna lie, I like how you've not gone for the 3-0 approach. I rate that. I rate that highly. Because most people are coming here and go, yeah, 3-0, just because you play for that team. And I the mentality that I spoke about beforehand was, you don't want to come into a game and think, yeah, these are gonna be easy. We know nothing about them. We're gonna clean sweep them. But yeah, I think a lot of us went in favour for Velocity and went for 3-1, 3-2.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's only Jonah. It's only Jonah that's gone the opposite way. But we'll see what happens next week. We'll see who does come out victorious on that. But it'd be nice to see G3 play and see what they're all about. Definitely against a strong side of Velocity. You are up there with the strong teams. And it'll be a good test to see what for the rest of us to see what G3 are about.
I have one question.
Come.
Alright.
Okay, so who is mainly the kind of not coach but sticks the team together, like
Who's
the glue? Who's the glue person?
Yeah. So the question on that is,
wrong,
apart from Jericho, obviously Jericho is the coach and would do that as his it's his job at the end of the day. But as a team mentality, so as a 3-team play. If Jericho isn't there, who comes up and holds the team together? The mentality doesn't drop, the comms don't drop. Who steps up on that?
Stealth is really good at doing that. He's good at keeping the mentality up. Letting us know when comms are dropping and stuff like that. And then you've also got me with my post game team talk.
Yeah, I've been on a couple of them. No, to be fair, they're not too bad.
Yeah, but mainly stuff on that one. Yeah.
I mean that's what you're kind of wanting, right? From the GC of the team, you're wanting that person to step up and
100%.
prove of why the not only mechanically but the mentality side of things for a GC is to keep that team going strong.
100%.
Yes, that's why I'm not a GC.
I have another question for Trident.
No,
Out of all the teams throughout the season, so say yous are winning the league, right? Who is the person that's going to challenge you the most? What team is the team that you think is going to challenge Velocity?
Euphoria. 100%. Euphoria. They've got an extremely strong side. I'd put them as actually winning the league in this one. They are an extremely strong side, especially with Jasmine coming in as the new GC. He is only the sub. Haz is also a really good GC. He's got that pace, he's got the mentality, kind of. But I haven't really seen a lot of Haz, but that's like, I've scrimmed against him a couple of times, and that's just like what I know so far about him. And then you've also got two really good champs. Like you're a great third man, Kyle. And keeping the team up and everything like that as well. So I think it'll be Euphoria in that one.
Alright.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that at all. I think Euphoria are a very strong team, and it is a team to watch, and it's is what I pointed out. Haz is very good aerially, Aqua is very good playing on the ground, and yourself, Kyle, is the mentality side and the third player. We match it. We said this with it when we joined tried to join a team together, is we have very similar styles of play. We play that third man, we try and keep the mentality up high, and I think that's what will do Euphoria some good, because obviously not pointing out Aqua as being a weak link, but Aqua's mind does wander. It's not
also Aqua's very young.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. I'm not taking anything away from Aqua, but his mind wanders, and he worries about things that he shouldn't worry about. And I think having the player in behind of is going to be good for him, and mentality-wise, it'll grow as the season goes on.
I think that's one of the main reasons why he wanted me in the team in the first place, because long before the clinical masterminds trials happened, he was constantly asking me, join my team as a coach, join my team as a sub. He was trying to get me in his team anyway possible. I'm in a team. And then as soon as I left the team, it was at me, and I was like, I'm going to try. I want back in clinical, and then obviously that didn't happen, and I finally gave in to him, and I was like, no, this will be a good challenge for me, and I really, I'm not the coach, I'm a player coach kind of thing, but I'm the coach side of just mentality, but just trying to keep positivity up, try to keep spirits high. And it's working out. It seems to be working out fine just now, because there has been a few times where Aqua's, because Haz doesn't come at the moment. I don't know if he's ever going to come. We've been told that he is going to come, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. So I don't know what Haz is like mentally wise. Haz just looks like he just plays the game. But Aqua, certainly, me and Aqua sit and speak to each other, and there's been a few times where he's got a bit, tensions have got high and frustrations have got high, and I've just managed to sort of bring him down, calm him down, and then push on and normally get the win. That's I agree with that as well. Not sounding biased, because I don't like to be biased, but I strongly believe, I think Euphoria, Vision X, Velocity, and Clinical, they're going to be four really fighting for it. I think they'll be the four teams at the top end. fighting
Definitely.
for the league. That's my own
Some
personal.
tough matches will be there.
That's what Brooks said. Like you guys have like air wise, like aqua like ground play wise, and you're like a great defender like overall, and just mentally a good guy to get the team hyped and just stay confident and just stay relaxed. So I mean, to be fair, it's not a weird pick because you guys have like good chemistry together.
Good all round.
Yeah.
Got a bit
We
of
have a good
everything.
laugh. Yeah, we have a good laugh as well, and that's the main thing. I really do. I have a lot of time for Aqua as well. You know, it reminds me of Reptic because I'd met Reptic, you know, when he was the same age, like many years ago, or 3 years ago when he was about 14, and he just got a really grown-up head on him for someone so young. You know, I remember when I was 14, I was a maniac.
Yeah.
You know, so I was just a complete maniac.
Just like me,
So,
when I'm 20.
Yeah,
you will always be mentally insane. Like
When I'm 80
Doesn't
and
matter what
in a
age.
wheelchair, you still hear me screaming on the hallway.
literally, yeah.
Any more questions for Trident? I mean, we have him here for a while.
Trident, can I join?
Well,
What?
What did you say?
Yeah.
No more.
What did you say? No, I want to hear it.
Nothing.
Yeah, you wanted to join something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to join your birthday. Your
Ah.
birthday.
Yep.
Trident, do you have any questions for us?
No.
Yeah, but that's not boy.
I'll try and
That's
think of
boring.
something.
That's boring. No question.
I'll try.
I mean,
I'll try and think of them as we go.
something that Kyle pointed out towards this, you know, the start of this is when Trident joined is the fact of a team of the week. So we're gonna go round and everybody's gonna choose their own team of the week, and then we'll try and put one as a mass together, you know, as a collective one together. So we'll do an individual, and then we will do a full us putting one together after the picks.
Like
so
that.
So if you all want to pick, you know, load up the spreadsheet and have a look through of players that you think should be put and where. I'm gonna start off because I believe I have my 3, and I think 2 of them are coming from the same team. Yeah, two. Actually, no. I'm gonna change. 2 were gonna come from the same team, but I don't want to be having 2 players from the same team. I want to.
Yeah.
I want to have a mix. So for my GC, it's going to be Dwarf Butt. I think he displayed some very good quality in the game with against Atlantis, and I think he's still got a lot to show. I think there's still a lot to come from him, but I think he was the standout GC for me. Following on from that, it goes into 2 champs. So the first champ is going to be Toxo. Absolutely insane. I said it after the game, I said it during the game, I've said it in this already. Absolutely insane player. I think he pretty much stands out from everybody in this game week. And then for me is more of a because of the play style change, is I'm looking forward to seeing Shizney. I mentioned it in the game with Velocity, with G-Force. He isn't sitting as that third man anymore. He's more, wanting to go forward. He's wanting to play as that middleman to give Flair that bit of room for the maneuver. And I think it's going to be interesting to see, what player Shizney can transform into, because obviously Season 1 he was that defensive player, the third man. You didn't really get to show much of him, his mechanics, his speed, basically up the top end of the field. And I think this one's going to be an interesting one this season, and that's going to be my my team of the week pick is Dwarf, Butt, Toxo, and Shizney.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm going to go next because I've got my 3.
What?
I have taken
How dare
them before I forget them.
Hey, that's my job.
My GC, I'm going to go Reptic for this week. Yeah. He's got some good numbers there. Yeah, he's got good numbers there. You know, he's got 4 goals, 3 assists, 4 saves. You know, throughout the series that he's played. Yeah, and just Reptic. You know,
Basically, yeah.
There's no other answer for that.
That's why I'm picking him. I'm also going to go Toxo. I think you're insane if you don't pick, if you don't pick Toxo. He had an insane week. Can't really say more than what Brooksie said. And then my next one was tough. I had it between 2. I went for Venus. Was one of them from Lotus. I thought that player looked incredibly good, considering also they were, you know, came in last, you know, right on the end of when they could get someone in, and then. But the one I'm going to stick with and pick is Brian from Vision X.
Yeah, see, this is a player that I was going to choose, but I didn't want to choose 2 from the same team, so...
Yeah, well, that I had a feeling it was that. That's why I went for Brian. Yeah, Brian...
Fuck off, Reptic.
I was... I'm definitely... He looked really solid, really good, and the numbers from a champ, you know, he's up there.
Yep.
And you think he's up there with 4 goals, pretty much matching Reptic, and played a game less for 1.
Yep.
You know, he only played 3 games. I think that's an unbelievable start, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Brian can do.
Yeah.
Okay, now I will go, I think. Yeah, I will go.
Okay.
I'm going for Flare.
Yep.
Of course, still my main GC pick. Yeah, I'm also going for Toxo. I loved how he played just when I was watching. And I'm going for GCI.
I knew.
He played phenomenal. Yeah, he played phenomenal.
I knew someone would pick him up at some point, but it's just who was going to pick him up.
Yeah, I will go now. For my GC, I've got to agree with you on this one, Brooksy.
Yeah.
Boffa, he played really well and helped stick that team together and helped a lot with that win, 3-0 win. And then, you know, Toxo, nothing needs to be said about that one. And then GCR as well, he played extremely well.
Now I go because, you know.
We'll
no choice.
We'll let you.
Yay.
You finally can.
Also, Brooks now ending the podcast. God damn it! No, I'm gonna go with almost the same as Brooks, except for 2. So
Nice.
No, I'm gonna choose Reptic as the GC.
Okay.
Because Reptic, yeah, he's a good steady player and he just knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, are you sure about that?
Actually not. I'm just trying to keep him as close as a friend.
You just try to keep his place on the team.
Yes, I try to keep my bench, myself. As my champ, I'm gonna go with Toxo and with GCI. Since GCI just play phenomenal in the matches, you can't get around that. And Toxo just did the same thing, you know. He got Velocity up in the ranking without Trident. And I think that's a great thing for him.
So you went one player the same as me, and that was Toxo.
Yes.
So
You had two players the same as me, dumbass.
so you'd have been better, comparing yourself to
No.
either Jonah or Trident.
Yeah, but
They
that
both
wouldn't be
chose-
fun,
Yeah.
would it? That wouldn't be fun, would it?
No.
So obviously, I'm gonna do a poll on, so the viewers can vote on who we've chosen. But we are gonna. Do you want us to do the dispute of doing the the game of the week, the team of the week, or are we just gonna let the viewers choose it?
In my opinion, I don't think you need to put a vote for the champs. I think it's clear that
Yeah, it's clear with this one.
Talk Show and like everyone picked Talk Show and three of yous picked GCI.
Yeah.
I think that's clear. I think it's more on the GC, which, and I'm going to put my thing way of why I don't think it's Dwarfbutt, because if you look at the numbers, Dwarfbutt didn't really do that well. Like this is nothing against Dwarfbutt, but 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 saves.
Bruh.
In 3 games, and that's from your GC. I think he is the lowest GC on stats of the GCs that played.
I didn't actually look at the stats.
Well, I
just
do,
thought
and
he
that's
played
what I
well.
do best. Well, actually, Christian, he is the lowest of all the GCs. It was the 2 champs that really showed off in Vision X. Dwarfbutt didn't need to.
Just for that, I'm changing my GC to Reptic. I didn't actually know the last stat.
See, the thing is, I'm sticking with mine. I'm not bailing out of mine because of.
I love that.
No,
Don't
because
change it.
like I said, sometimes contributions aren't always the point out for the player. Obviously, stat wise, you can pretty much, decide on at times. But I think as well that there's a lot to come from Dwarf. But my picks have kind of. There's a lot of potential from the people that I've chosen.
Now that's my argument here, is the player of the week isn't about potential of what can come from the future. It's what they done in that week.
Obviously mine. I was going to say my main point is the fact of not the contribution side. Okay, you might not might not get registered for it, but most of the play that came from Vision. That's the one. I couldn't think of the team then. Most of the team of the play from out of the back, coming forward, is through Dwarfbutt, but then doesn't really get credited because there's either the next touch or that last touch that gets credited for the assist.
I know stats don't mean everything, but I think that was the Brian and GCI show in that game. I think. And as I said, there's nothing against Worf, but he just didn't need to do anything. Yeah. Because they 2 played so well. So that was just my wee devil's advocate on why.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're always gonna have the little speak about it, and we're always gonna have differences about it. But I don't, like I say, stat wise, I do agree. 100%. You're going on stat wise, then it's gonna be, it's gonna be Reptic as that team of the week player. Obviously, mine were mainly because of, like I say,
He was faking me the whole time. Wow.
Who? I'm not changing. I'm not changing my.
No, what are you talking about? Kyle stinks, pass it down. Kyle stinks.
Kyle
stinks, pass it down.
Right, I would like to change my vote from Reptic to Dwarfbutt. So.
Get lost.
So are we deciding on a 3 and then letting the community decide on their 3?
Well, we could do it that way. I was going to say if we just put Talk Show and GCI as the champs, and then let the chat vote on the GC out of Reptic and Dwarfbutt. And
Flare.
Let's count to 3.
Are we adding Flare?
And then we all say one name.
Yeah, because we all picked them.
Yeah, don't forget about Flair.
Mm-hmm.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah, add Flare. You missed a lot, Grizz.
You missed everything.
Yeah, you pretty much missed everything.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up here.
Reptic, who is you?
Oof. But who is you exactly?
Huh? Who's speaking?
Are you
So-
even an
So we'll give
existing
it.
thing?
We'll give it 3 minutes.
Ghost, go
I've
away!
never heard of it.
Ghost, go away!
There we go. So you've got 3 minutes to vote who you decide that should be team of the week for the GC spot.
I didn't know that you said dwarf, but oh, yeah, I got one.
Aww.
Yes, Flair.
No way.
Vote me or push you. Oh, can I fucking... Can I get it away?
I
When
mean,
vote on
just
dwarf
push
up.
me down the stairs already, you know. Don't care.
Just push me. I'm done.
Who's gonna
there.
be the key person to vote for? To basically untangle the tie. I mean, because if not, then it's gonna have to be another vote, and we'll just add Reptic and Flair as the vote.
Flair.
It's funny.
Oh, Flair takes one. Oh no.
It's funny. Chris said he was eating. I was eating my van. That's
What
in
the-
That's
Why would you eat
interesting.
your hand?
I don't.
It's Reptic
Oh,
now.
Reptic, flavor.
No, no Reptic.
Someone go Flair.
Yeah, Flair's way better.
What? Dwarfbot
Reptic
just
what?
got fulfilled by Reptic.
Crept up.
Oh no.
Crept up. Crept up. Crept up.
So I mean, we're
Reptic got
halfway through
Dwarfbot got
the
Brazil.
halfway through the
I
time.
can only vote twice. Yeah, with your circle.
I was staring at Jonah pics as well.
What the? Hold up.
Wait a minute. I'm going. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
sussy,
Goodbye.
I mean, as it stands at the minute, it's gonna look like it's gonna be Reptic to take it.
What do you mean, Reptic? I voted for you.
I need.
Why are you getting mad at me,
you.
Reptic? What's that? I literally voted for you.
Yeah,
What are you on about?
The two people that picked him are the two people he's flamed.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's
want
lost the plot. He's just finished work.
Just so you know, Reptic, I didn't choose you.
Oh, it's 7-0.
I think he was talking about me, to be fair.
I
Oh yes, Flair!
Yeah.
7-7.
Flair, get back in here.
Suck it, Reptic.
I stuck true to my word and went with who I put, and I am the one person for
Right,
Dwarf, but
Let's go. It's Flair now.
Flair takes it 8.
You said I
on,
was
Flair.
talking about Jonah. Oof. But I didn't talk about Jonah, I was talking about myself because you said the new GC.
8.
Who said I was talking
This is
about
going
Jonah?
crazy.
I thought that. Reptic. That's my bad. I thought that, Reptic. It's okay.
Oh, is there going to be a late minute winner? A late minute winner? No.
My bad, Reptic. I didn't.
So it does go 8. So we got to do the the poll again, but we just take out a Dwarf, but
Whoever voted on Dwarf but has the deciding factor here.
uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I think it's going to be Kyle.
I think his ego is way bad now because of this. That he got one vote. That's not good.
Ego to the roof like Dave.
Huh?
Ego Dave.
You're gonna be ego, Dave.
What? No.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm on the bench. How
You're
would I
gonna
even have the
you're gonna
ego?
be both dropped if you compare Reptic to Dave.
Oh,
That's instant.
No,
Wait, who
I
said I
meant-
was comparing Reptic to Dave?
Yeah.
Right,
He
so
didn't do that.
Huh?
Why did you?
new poll.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
4, 5 for Flair, 6 for Flair,
What?
What's going on now?
My God,
7 for Flair, 9 for Flair.
Well,
we got 3 made of him. Oh my God.
Reptic, no, fuck off.
well,
That's
That-
funny.
that went from a 0 to 100 real quick.
Well, I mean, it's not the fact of someone having 20 accounts. I mean, the people that voted for you before just haven't seemed to vote for you again.
They were like, I've got to change it up. Hold up. 1 minute.
That's crazy.
Dwarfbot got done
Yes,
there.
Reptic, I
Reptic, I
fixed
fixed
it.
it. Voted Flair. Damn, my man's getting fired now. Hey, yo.
Unlucky Reptic.
Nah.
I mean,
Man's
I
gonna
think,
chill in the corner and put on the fucking song.
I mean, Reptic's almost had a double Brazil.
But Reptic, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you just show up in the next game week against Flair, bro, 100% you're the GC of the
Oh yeah, by the way, Reptic, I don't know whether you've seen, but you're playing Flare.
I told him.
So just Reptic, be you, and just, you know.
I'm retiring.
Okay, Kylian, get off the bench. Get off the bench.
Oh,
I told you I was taking over.
Dutch people taking over.
We always take it over. That's just how we are.
And we're dropping Brooks for soft plays and then get Jeffo.
What?
The whole Dutch team.
Reptic is thoughts.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
I've come
Reptic
from
fucking
the
trying one
sea
out.
again.
Well, I mean, it looks very self-explanatory of who this is gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, unless
No, I think
Unless-
Reptic, to be
Flair,
fair, man.
not
It's close. It's close.
unless 9 players come out of nowhere, no, 9 people come out of nowhere and vote for Reptic, then unfortunately,
Flair,
Unless that
GCI.
song's on already.
We need that meme that you made the other day now for Reptic. What is it? Sad.
the sad story.
Yeah.
Edition,
sad
edition 2. It's now a Reptic. Edition 1 was Trident.
Yeah. I don't
No.
even know what it was about, but I remember it.
Actually, before this ends, I have to ask, what were you smoking, Trident?
What do you mean?
Oh.
What do you mean?
To-
What do you mean? What?
well, there's a few things. You claimed that, and this is no offense to Taku, but you claimed that Taku was a GC level player.
Yeah.
He's not.
What?
You know Taku. You know Taku. well. 2, you claimed that Ben hit GC late on in the season when he actually hit GC before the season started.
I didn't know that.
Me and Cal dug it up.
I thought that he got GC like mid or late season.
No,
Oh.
I had no clue on
I
that.
thought it was mid myself, but when we look back at it,
Oh my god.
no, but and obviously 3. That is the rules. We have to set a cut-off date. We can't, because it would be unfair.
Yeah. Premiership last season, still never won the league. You didn't even play last. Greg, you didn't even play last league. You played
Didn't.
one game and then like got kicked or something, didn't you?
One game better than you did.
You got kicked.
But here's the thing. You know, it would be unfair to let someone play as a champ and then they hit GC
Yeah.
and then we have to, and then they basically lose their spot on the team, and we
Yeah.
can't control how people use and play on their account.
I mean, I have a question for Trident. Trident.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be again a sleepy Trident not being on the game?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
You sure?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a valid question. How are you?
Because if it happens, you know, mate.
Yeah, but it's not.
How did you manage to convince Stealth to give you another chance after what happened last season with Free Amigos? Obviously, Stealth was there.
So, Grizz was looking for a temp. Yeah, because
Give
this
him
is when
10
Grizz was owner and captain. Give him 10 bucks. But I begged Grizz for a tryout. I pretty much begged him for a tryout. Yeah. And he just gave me it. After Stealth and Ben reluctantly agreed, and the others. So we did the tryout, and I just played good, had good comms, and they just like weighed the pros and the cons. and then just let me in to see how it'd go.
Well, that's good. And
Yeah.
are you going to be committed to not
Oh, yeah.
missing any
Yeah.
games through bad sleep schedules?
100%.
Well, that's good. I hope you do. Keep your word.
But the biggest question is, why do I still get assigned as a GC?
I never.
Why
I would
is
never
that?
know. I would never
Set me
know.
back to diamond, please.
Nah.
That's
you-
my place.
Nah, you need to. Get
That's my quiet place.
Once
Diamond
a
is
Back at
GC.
GC.
silver
that's-
34, mate.
Once,
Get me back to silver 34.
once a
Yeah,
GC,
that's
also
your
a GC. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's
You know.
unfortunately the rules. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I gave you that option before we started.
I know.
You know, the starting. No, I'm gonna cover this up. Is the reason of why you're a GC, because you know people do point out of why is Kylian a GC. You know, he's not consistently in there. The reason he's GC is obviously when he was within Juice. You know, it got tabled of he wanted to be that main player of playing that GC role. And it's like, well, if you do take that GC spot, you will be then, following on from seasons, you will be assigned GC, for the coming seasons, and that's why he's where he's at. But more and more, if Kylian actually grinds the game and actually plays the game, he can get into GC and maintain that GC spot. But he doesn't play it because he's either bored of it or he doesn't want the grind. It's one of them that.
I mean, I think I can, if I get in GC lobbies, I believe I can still play it without really getting destroyed every time. But yeah, just how you said it, I'm just kind of done with the Rocket League for this moment. I'm kind of bored of it and don't really feel like to grind in it anymore. And that's what's just putting me off.
Yep. And he's going to become a pirate.
Yes.
I mean, it's like.
Yo,
Pirate
a
Kylian.
pirate's life will be.
I'm not gonna lie. If Kylian actually does try the game and he's grinding for it, he's easily GC1.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, it's what Cal just pointed out there as well. Is Kylian and Cal played a couple of months back, and I watched them games because I were at work at the time. But I watched them games, and they went on like a 7-8 game win streak straight into GC1 and maintain the GC1 status. And it just shows that you can come in, play games, and then get to GC and then disappear because he's then bored of the game again.
Yep.
I got a good question for everyone in here.
Okay,
For everyone in here,
this will be the wrap-up question then.
Yeah.
what do you guys think of GC3? No, Gem 3 and Gem 2 lobbies in ranked?
Is short.
Terrible.
You can't read
Sure.
anyone anymore because you literally cannot know if they touch the ball or miss out of nowhere. And that's making it so hard to get out.
I already know
of
what's coming out of Kyle's mouth. I already know what's coming.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
They're terrible. I hate them. I hate them.
It's the most inconsistent because there's so many Smurfs. The
Yep.
Smurfs, and that leads into Kylian's point is you don't know. They sometimes will just miss the easiest of balls, and then the next second they're flip resetting, double tapping on you.
Yeah.
I think it's the most Smurf rank is C2 and C3, because everyone is wanting to get into that GC. Everyone wants to get that GC tags, and they're getting their friends who are way better than that in there. So I despise them, but I also enjoy them because that's how you improve. Certainly how I
Definitely
improve.
true.
And you've just got to take the rough with the smooth.
I think it's it goes from like one of them. It goes from one extreme to another. You can play people that miss the ball consistently, and it's hard to read that type of play anyway. But then you go into the game after that, and they're hitting every single shot that they go for. It's like you say, it's such an unpredictable division to be in, a whole rank to be in. It's another reason I don't play ranked. It's just
That's
too.
good. That's
too too frustrating. But this is the reason I do, you know, 1v1s. It's the reason I play against higher players, is because I want to improve, but I don't like playing the ranked way to improve. I'd rather just do it throughout the community. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. For one of those is, you know, you'll get out of the rank eventually. It's just you put the time and the effort in.
Every season, this particular part of ranks hops every time, because every time the season ends, the MMR changes a little bit around, and you keep getting other players. So it's probably gonna move up even higher. So maybe next season is gonna be in GC lobbies that people are inconsistent.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's a good time to wrap up. It's a good time to finish off.
Rap. I like
Kyle,
to rap with some.
Kyle looks absolutely wiped out. So, you know, man's played a scrim as well as been at work all day. So we're gonna sign off for this